Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another Magic Arena Explorer video. So today we are playing some Golgari Midrange. So we've got some couple of interesting new cards in the deck, one of which is new to Magic in general, and another is new to the Explorer format. So our first new card is Caustic Bronco. So this is a 2-mana 2/2 in black, and it has Saddle 3, and whenever it attacks, you reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. You lose life equal to that card's mana value if Caustic Bronco isn't saddled, otherwise each opponent loses that much life. So it has that kind of Dark Confidant style effect of putting the top card of your library in your hand and making you lose life equal to its mana value. Obviously you can kind of flip that around and make the opponent lose life instead. So there's some pretty neat turn orders where you can play this on turn 2, then play a Sentinel or a Mosswood Dread Knight on turn 3, saddle it and attack and make your opponent hopefully lose some life. But even if you aren't saddling it, generally the ability to just put more cards in your hand is worth the life loss. Obviously there are certain cards in the deck which are more painful than others, and you are very much hoping to kind of hit lands when you're not saddling it and your big creatures when you are, but obviously that you can't guarantee that, so it is taking a bit of a risk, but it is generally worth it. Then we are also running 3 copies of Abrupt Decay, so this is new to Explorer, although has been legal in Pioneer. It's from way back in Return to Ravnica. So this is a very simple removal spell, so black-green for an instant. This spell can't be countered, destroy target non-land permanent with mana value 3 or less. So it gets rid of many different threats in the format, gets around wards, so it can kill things like Graveyard Trespasser without needing to discard a card. So yeah, very good removal spell in the right colours as well, so we will try that. And then our other new card is Harvester of Misery. So we've just got one of these at the top end of our curve. So this is from the big score set. Mini set within Outlaws of Thunder Junction. So 5 mana, 5/4 with Menace. When it enters the battlefield, other creatures get -2/-2, and you can pay 1 and discard it to give a target creature -2/-2. So it can also act as a removal spell early in the game if you need it to. So an interesting big threat that if the opponent can't deal with it and it kind of wipes their board, then a 5/4 Menace is pretty hard to block, and yeah, can quickly close out the game. So in terms of the rest of our Golgari mid-range deck, so our 1-drops are Thoughtseize and Fatal Push, which is not particularly surprising. And then we have some additional removal at our 2-drop slot with Bitter Triumph, 2 copies of that and 1 Go for the Throat. We're also running the full 4 copies of Mosswood Dread Knight, so this is a very good recent addition from Wilds of Eldraine. So 3/2 trample. When it dies, you can cast it from your graveyard as an adventure until the end of your next turn, and Dread Whispers, draw a card, lose a life for 2 mana. So very hard for the opponent to get rid of. It keeps coming back unless they have exile-based removal. So yeah, very good mid-range threat there, and a couple of scavenging oozes. So we do have the main deck Graveyard Hate, as well as the ability to just grow this into a big creature. Then our 3-drops, 2 copies of Liliana of the Veil, very good Planeswalker, and 4 Sentinel of the Nameless City, and 3/4 Vigilance for 3. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, you create a map token. So this will very quickly snowball out of control if the opponent can't deal with it. And then 3 copies of Shieldred the Apocalypse. And then we technically do have another 1-drop, but it probably fits better over here, which is 1 copy of Goldvein Hydra. So X green, 0/0 Vigilance Trample Haste, enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, and when it dies, you create a number of tapped treasure tokens equal to its power. So yeah, we're just running one of these because you don't want too many of them trapped in your hand, but realistically, kind of casting this for 4 or 5 mana, you've got a pretty impressive threat that can start beating down the opponent quickly, and then if they are able to answer it, then you just get a massive amount of ramp, and then can cast lots more things from your hand. So yeah. In terms of the mana base, so the usual set of dual lands, we are running 4 Blooming Marsh and 4 Deathclap Glade, just because we do want to reliably be able to have untapped lands on turns 1 and 2, but also turns 3 and later than that. 1 Restless Cottage as a black-green creature land, and Underground Mortuary as a Surveil land. Mutavault, 1 copy of that as well. Then some basic lands as well, and 2 Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Just the black creature land that we're using, because black is our only 1-drop, really. So we do want to be able to reliably cast those spells on 1 mana. 2 Castle Lochthwains, a Takenuma, and a Boseiju as our utility lands. So those will obviously Castle Lock Twain pairs very nicely with cards like Shieldred. So there may be an opportunity for games that go long to get advantage of the value of that. Then in the sideboard, we have 2 copies of Duress, so the additional hand disruption that we can bring in. Pick your poison, versatile removal spell, making the opponent sack an artifact, an enchantment, or a creature with flying. As I've said many times before when this has been in the sideboard, this is a pretty clean answer to cards like Vein Ripper, which is quite hard to get rid of otherwise. A couple of Reckoner Bankbusters, so some card draw in grindier matchups. Unlicensed Hearse, just some more graveyard hate to go alongside our Scavenging Oozes, harder to remove as well. Path of Peril, removal spell for cheap creatures, so we can bring that in when the opponent's trying to go wide with something like Boros Convoke or humans. A couple of copies of Wrenn and Realmbreaker, so this is a fun one. Planeswalker, 4 loyalty, 3 mana, lands you control, have tap, add 1 mana of any colour. And then we can mill cards and put a permanent from among them into our hand, so a good way of filling up the graveyard, potentially putting Dread Knights and things and other things into our hand. And so yeah, and then also turning our creatures into lands when we have the mana to spare, and then a couple of extinction events as well. A lot of our creatures do have an even mana cost, so often we will be able to hit all of the odd mana value creatures on the battlefield without losing too many of our own. Particularly against things like mono green, that's a particularly good answer. So yeah, that is the deck. Thank you very much for watching. Hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. Let's see how we go on with these new cards and see how we go on with Golgari Midrange. Let's go on to the ladder. This is a keep. Unfortunately, these are both tap lands, which is slightly awkward. So I'll start with a Death Cap Blade. Okay, so the opponent's on Azorius Control, which is actually, I think, reasonably okay for this hand. Make them use a counterspell and then just Thoughtseize them anyway. Okay, no counterspell, sure thing. This is interesting, isn't it? So, if I Thoughtseize them again, so what are the 2 best things? Just get rid of all of their cheap stuff. Yeah, let's ditch No More Lies for a start. Let's take Temporary Lockdown. I'll play a Caustic Bronco. The life loss is not so important in this matchup, so don't think it matters too much. I assume they will March of Otherworldly Light it here. Yep. Okay, I will just play another Bronco. Just waiting for them to Okay, well, I will just pass the turn and start drawing cards. Ooh, Goldvein Hydra's a good one. Don't need Abrupt Decay, I don't think. So, let's spin this out for 3, leaving ourselves a Fatal Push. That's fine. So we'll kill that. That makes our card draw a little less painful as well. I could have main phased Sentinel there, but I wanted to see what they did first. Yeah, I'll keep another Sentinel. That's a welcome draw. So they'll probably be able to Sunfall now. Yep. I think I'll chill on the map and just use Lockthwain instead.
Sorry I'm late. I'm not ready for you quite yet.
It's a little disappointing in terms of the cards we've drawn, to be honest.
You know what? I'm not done.
Get rid of that. They've got 7 cards. It's not looking particularly good here. Okay, well, I'll pay the 3. Okay, I'll pay the 2. Okay, I might stick around one more turn, just because they used 3 counter spells to get rid of a 3-drop.
No time for a break.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. So, Duress is good here, so is Bankbuster. I quite like Ren and Realmbreaker. Don't like Go for the Throat. I'm going to trim a couple of Fatal Pushes. Liliana's okay. Scavenging Ooze is mid, but can get rid of Memory Deluge. What's not so good here? Well, let's just get rid of all the Fatal Pushes. I just have 1 Scavenging Ooze. One Scavenging Ooze. This'll have to do. It's not a particularly good hand. Okay, well, I'm quite glad that the opponent hated their hand there, because I didn't particularly like mine either. So we'll just run it back. Yeah, this is a keep, although it's a little awkward in terms of mana. I'm going to need to draw another land. Okay, let's take their Sunfall here, I think. Start trying and failing to draw some cards. Verdict can go here. Still missing land drops though, which is pretty depressing. Okay, well that's actually quite a welcome development, because it lets us get our forest online. I suppose there's a question here of what am I... So whatever I try and play is going to get... I'm going to run into a counter spell, so... Well... Let's just run another Dread Knight into there. Surveyor land is good. Do I want another land? I don't think so at this point. Pop Goldvein Hydra into play. Oh, whoops. Well, that's awkward. At least I get the treasures, I suppose. Could be worse. Okay, that's a pretty good draw. Okay, I'll take 3 steps ahead, and I'll land Bankbuster now. Okay, they didn't hit a counterspell, so that's good in terms of being able to match them for cards. That's interesting. That's quite aggressive. So they get a map. Yeah, they're using all their mana here, so that's good news. So that's gonna draw. Take Sunfall. Play Ren and Realmbreaker.
Be swift. A small gift.
I'm going to take the cottage here, I think. This is all kind of fine.
Everywhere.
Just keep the card advantage coming.
Power
I'll take Shieldred, I think, this
has
time.
not abandoned me.
God, there's a lot of chat coming from this Planeswalker. Temporary lockdown's a little annoying, but it's not so annoying that... What does this do? Life Vigilance... Okay, so what I can do here is turn my swamp into a 3/3. Attack.
My voice beckons to all worlds.
Shieldred. Abrupt Decay that. Get my creatures back. That's fine, they've now had to use 2 temporary lockdowns. Yeah, they're delaying the inevitable here. I'll have another Caustic Bronco.
And rebirth.
Just keep the creatures coming. Random Realm Breaker's doing decent work here. Did they find a verdict? Or maybe an Emperor? Okay, that's an expensive march of otherworldly light. Turn this into a land. Turn our Deathcap Blade into a land. We're doing okay for life, so...
Fight back.
Let's eat their Memory Deluge. It's a good draw off Bronco. Okay, so my klutz of a move with Goldvein Hydra has actually probably worked out for the best. Those treasure tokens were pretty useful.
Let's slow this down.
Don't want it.
That didn't go. You know what? I'm not done.
4 life. So the Wandering Emperor could be annoying here. But this is going to help. Okay, well, I'll get rid of 3 steps ahead. I'll turn this land into a 3/3.
My voice beckons to all worlds.
This is a challenge, isn't it? So, tell you what I'll do. Just because I want to be able to eat the food. So if I activate Cottage... Yeah. Yeah, there was a way of doing that, but I think I got there. Okay. Ah, another game on the draw. Nice Lord of the Rings reference in their username, though. I approve. Oof, I mean, these Deathcap Blades are not a good... Right, I can't... Yeah, very awkward manner. So, they're playing angels, and I think I'm going to have to kill their Bishop of Wings now. See, if these have been untapped lands, I've been able to get rid of them both. I mean, I'm still short of mana here. Well, I can't have that hanging around, so even though I still have no land, good. Well, Skyclave Apparition's a good one to take. Caustic Bronco is nice. Okay, good. Good land. Sentinel can saddle my Caustic Bronco. Okay, I'm actually reasonably happy with not doing them any damage here.
Those who cannot protect themselves. Our true strength lies in our friendships.
Just one Ajani's Pride Mate is not so much of a problem, I don't think. Ha! Okay, well... let's blow up Giada. Play a Dread Knight. Saddle our Bronco. Send them both at Ajani.
Cease your selfish acts.
Okay, Valkyrie's not bad.
I sense the truth in your heart.
So, crack a map on our Dread Knight. Don't need that, but it's good to see it. Now crack a map on our Sentinel. Don't need that either. Send both of these at Ajani.
Fought my hardest.
So we're doing okay here, but if they draw like a Coco or a Kylo's Reconstruction, obviously that's seriously bad news. Nope. Let's have an ooze. Pass the turn. And sadly, I don't have a good answer to that. So they're going to go to... Yeah, then gain more life. Put a counter on that. Yeah, probably enough for them to win. Yeah, these Shieldreds, not good. Not good. So, pick your poison is good here. So is Extinction Event. Path of Peril is just meh, I think. I do not like Shieldred in this matchup. Not hugely thrilled by Mosswood Dread Knight either. So I think that will do us for now. We'll start with the Thoughtseize. Okay, let's grab one of their reconstructions, I think, for now. Don't really want an elf hanging around. No, please, not more land. Well, Extinction Event may be good at some point. Okay, so they've got Collected Company here. Now we await our fate. At least having cracked a map allows us to kill one of their angels. Kyla's reconstruction, x equals 2. Yep. Okay, that was a fairly comprehensive mauling there. No, that will do. This will do fine. A harvester, sure, so could be vampires, could be mid-range. Just another harvester. Okay, well, let's have a Hydra. So either way, if these die, I get value off them, so... I could potentially bring Hydra back later with Takenuma. I probably wouldn't block if I were the opponent, but... it is a tough choice. For once, my flooding out has come in handy. Ha! See what the opponent does in the meantime. Fable is fine, so I'm still not sure whether this is vampires or mid-range. Could be either. I actually prefer Harvester of Misery here. So let's attack with Dread Knight. Okay, well, I can hold on to my Harvester here. Just play a couple of creatures. Yeah, no discards. Oh, I better have a good hand. Very well. I'm a patient man. I don't know why you would wait for me to draw a card there, but you may continue. It's fine. I can feel a harvester coming on. Oh, the fun we have. Right, well, this is going reasonably well. I'm still pretty cagey about what they're playing, although Bone Crusher Giant makes me think, yes, it's probably mid-range rather than vampires. Which you don't see as much anymore. That's fine. So I'm going to start chomping away at their hand, I think, here.
Something suspicious is going on. And for once, it's you won't be outsmarting me.
Hopefully that discarding Fatal Push should have been enough to terrify them. Okay. Well, it will just come back again. Kill this. Sack a creature, please.
I've always hated it.
This feels a bit mean now, to be honest. Yep. So, Rakdos mid-range. Duress is decent on the draw, so pick your poison for their Fables. I quite like Bankbuster in this matchup. What don't I like here? I'm not so fussed about Scavenging Ooze. Or probably Bronco. I think it's too easily killed and the life loss probably isn't worth it. Yeah, that seems decent. So back on the draw. I quite like the sound. Bone Crusher Giant it is then. Does need a little bit of help here. Thank you. So let's play Sentinel. I do not think I will attack with Bankbuster here. I can't see a Fatal Push, but the fact that they have done nothing makes me think they do have some kind of removal spell. That's fine. Ooh, okay. Let's start with Thoughtseize, because if they do have a Fatal Push, this makes my job a lot easier. They do. Okay. Well, let's take that. Let's crack map here. Hopefully draw a land? No, I don't want another removal spell, I don't think. Oh. Good. Okay. Well, that was reasonably... That was a good match. We got run over by Angels. Had a pretty good match against Control, so yeah, pretty mixed. Ugh. I literally just spent my wildcards crafting Abrupt Decays, and then I get the fourth one. Ugh. So yeah, I mean, some good cards. Caustic Bronco gave us some good value there. Harvest of Misery was quite good in some places. Yeah, it's a decent mid-range deck, this. Abrupt Decay is a good card. I'm not convinced on it. Maybe Bitter Triumph is just better at this point. Yeah, the Can't Be Countered is nice, but the mana value restriction can sometimes be pretty bad. I don't know. Let me know what you think if you've been playing this and if it's been any good. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe as ever. Thank you very much. Always appreciate it. And I'll see you next time.